unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson. This episode is brought to you by White Cloud Coffee Roasters, nestled in the heart of Idaho's mountain wilderness, where every bean tells a story of adventure. Discover the difference in their premium beans, meticulously roasted to capture the essence of the mountains. Now, listeners of our podcast can get an exclusive 10% discount. Just use the promo code CREATIVITY at checkout. Visit whitecloudcoffee.com and use the code CREATIVITY.
Well, welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Your World of Creativity. And we travel around the world to talk to creative practitioners everywhere about how they get inspired, how they organize ideas, and most of all, the connections and the confidence it takes to launch our work out into the world. And today we're going to be talking about music, art, entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about clothing brands, all of this in one package with my guest, Nadine Royale. Nadine, welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark.
I love creative people with a lot of, what should I say, hyphens and slashes in their titles. And when I see recording artist slash actress slash entrepreneur, it means there's a lot going on with you, isn't there?
Yes, I think a lot of us creatives are a jack of all trades. So we just have a lot of things going on and a lot of creative ideas always swirling around. So
Yes.
definitely.
I love that. We're going to talk about your cultural influences for sure, some of your music and some of the new things you're working on. Of course, as I mentioned, the fashion brand. But also, I guess I wanted to start with managing all those many roles and managing your own brand, your own business. And I mentioned to you, I reached out to connect on LinkedIn, and
Yes.
you described yourself as the CEO of your brands and your
Yeah.
studio. How
Right.
does that influence you as a creative, as an artist, to say, I have to be the manager and the director and the chief executive of my art?
Right. I think that obviously I do have a team. So it's not just me by myself, but I am the one that ends up making decisions and really riding the flagship. So I felt that being in the industry for a long time, being burned, being shelved, having different experiences, that in order for me to accomplish the vision that I have in my mind, I need to take charge. And so I started my business. I did all the legal end, all the back end, and just really wanted to create something where it's a safe place for artists to be creative and to create high art, amazing art, and to have impactful media for the fans that's healing, inspiring. That's really my message overall. And I felt that in order to do that, I needed to create my own infrastructure, my own entity, my own brand. So that's how I fell into that. So I have to put my business hat on and then my artist hat.
Yes. And let's talk about your journey. You moved
Yeah.
to the US from Germany. I love the cultural influence that, is right up top on your bio, this
Mm,
Egyptian German combination heritage,
mm,
and studying at Berklee
mhm.
College of Music. So, how does all of this influence this multidisciplinary art that you're creating?
That's an amazing question. Thank you. Because I love when people acknowledge my background. Because a lot of times, I don't know if I've spoken about this, but I get bullied a lot or I was bullied a lot for my ethnicity and my background. So I never fit in. So I love when people are like curious and want to explore it. But I was born in Germany. My biological father was Egyptian, and my mom won a green card in the lottery when I was 10. So we moved to America and I learned English. And then I went to Berklee College of Music. That's where I got my music degree from. But as far as the cultural blends that I find is that music is the universal language. And no matter where you are in the world, you can always sing a song. So that kind of inspires me to create different sounds from different things. So whether I want to do some Arabic music or some hip hop or some classical, I just blend them all together. And I definitely think my cultural background has influenced that. And I'm also doing a travel show, which will explore those things. I think it'll be really exciting once that comes out because I want to talk about the connectivity around the world. We might be different, but there's always some similarities and things that people share.
Yes. This idea of cultural inclusivity, but certainly recognition. I couldn't help but wonder how this comes out in your song War Cry. I was listening to that. In fact, I'd like to play a sample for the listeners, but let's talk about how the cultural elements come to play in that song.
War Cry, I think the main thing about that one was about finding people that had different stories and different obstacles they've had to overcome. So if you see in the video, we have some models with vitiligo, with cochlear implants, with prosthetic legs, just different people from different walks of life. And I wanted to showcase just maybe what people don't think is the beauty standard. I was like, no, this is beautiful. This is powerful. And I wanted to showcase it in a way on screen that made people see we're all the same. We all have different stories, but we all are warriors and overcomers in the end. So I think as far as inclusivity, that's what that video was really about, is about including different people from different walks of life and sharing their stories and of overcoming.
It's very powerful.
Thank you.
As you were developing, let's talk about the craftsmanship a little bit. It's got power. It's got drive. This is not a soft, teary-eyed song. And I think this is maybe what we need to hear, that it is power. It's not sympathy or empathy alone. Is that what you were trying to communicate?
Yeah, if you listen to the lyric that came to me my process is, I don't know if this is most people's process, but I usually hear the songs full in my head. So I just, either I'm waking up or I'm walking around and it downloads into my brain. And then I'm like, okay, I need to voice note this so I don't forget it. So what came to me was there must have been something in the water that kept me breathing just a bit longer. And I was going through a difficult time at that time. And it was just a message of hope. And I was like, okay, where do we go with this? So then when I recorded the record, it was very powerful and an anthem, war cry. That's what came out. Even if you listen to the beginning of the video, all of those sounds that you hear, like that kind of tribal sound, that's my voice. And it's pitched down, like even the male sound is me. We pitched it down and layered it, but I wanted it to be like a war cry, really making a statement of no matter what you're going through, no matter how dark it seems, like there is light, hold on just a little bit longer. So that was really it's very aggressive in that sense because I wanted to, it's like a fighter, like a fighting spirit. Yeah, I do think this song is more of a like versus crying ballad, but I do have those too, but this one was more of like a statement of fighting and overcoming.
Yes. We love to explore collaboration on this podcast too, because as you mentioned, you're not alone. Team members and contributors have to work together to bring the work. What was there a point, whether it was in the development of the song or the track itself or in the video, where you said, here's where a contribution from an outside eye contributed, like somebody saw something or heard something that I missed, and I really said, let's add that in. Can you describe that?
Yes. I love being here. Your questions are great because I love the creative process and talking about it. So my right hand, Ash, she is the videographer of this project and she's amazing. So a lot of the underwater scenes, that's actually me underwater and her underwater. And there was a lot of times where it does not look really glamorous if you don't shoot it a certain way. So she was like, okay, wait, we got to do this again. You have to be posed like this because she's also choreographer. So she knew like that you're not going to like that. So definitely she was amazing. Her eye is amazing. And then also in the in the scene where we have all the warriors, the way that she choreographed everybody so they looked really strong and powerful because we're all different heights and different sizes. And she just made it so beautiful that it was like, it just, I don't know, she's my favorite. She just has an eye of excellence and she knows. And also, we also had a lot of discussions about we want to be sensitive to, let's say, so the video also has another version where there's an ASL translator. I think her name is Zule Karaoke on Instagram, and she translated it and did sign language because I wanted to be mindful of the community because Faisy Legend in this video and his community, most of them are deaf, and I wanted them to be able to enjoy it too. So I did my research as far as, okay, how can we be as inclusive as possible? How do we make it look empowering and not, I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful of the community. So Ash also is brilliant at that and was like, okay, no, that's not going to read like that. Do it like this. So those are the people around me, I think, that really made this project what it is.
So good. And as you were developing it, I'm sure there were those moments of this out of body experience where you said, I wonder how the listener, I
Yeah,
wonder how the viewer is going to
right,
connect with this message. Because once you put it all together, you say, okay, now I've got a story. How is this
right,
story going to be received? What were you
right.
thinking about at that point?
For me, I honestly see the things I hear it in my mind and I also see it. So I saw the clips of the video before we even did the storyboard. So I saw it already in my mind. I was like, how do I bring this down here into this realm? And then I was making sure that, okay, I wanted different people. So if you also notice, we have people from different backgrounds, like the healer that saves me. His name is Jason. I love him. Amazing musician also. But I wanted to bring people of different backgrounds, ethnicities. I didn't want to just have one type of look. So it's really important for me to make the story something anybody could relate with. And yes, I understand that it's not your, how should you say, it's a little high art. There's a lot of moving images and stuff like that, but that's just who I am as an artist. So I felt like I just got to still stay true to myself, but I did want to make it inclusive and other people seeing themselves and that kind of a mystery too. I want them to be like, what happened there? Like, why was she found in the middle of the desert? What happened to her? Because
Mm.
then we can do like a prequel. There's a lot of thoughts into creation.
There you go.
So I
You're
want to make
seeing the
people,
steps. Yes.
yeah, like I wanted people to be interested and be like, okay, but why is she all disheveled? What happened to her? Why was she on the water? Why is she in the fire? What's going on? And then when you listen to the lyrics, obviously it's talking about overcoming. And then you see the other warriors and that's, oh, okay. So I wanted to spark curiosity. I wanted to spark just like a fighting spirit. Somebody listened to it, maybe they had a bad day or they feel like, man, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Just listen to it and be like, you know what? I can do this. I got this. Like, I just want to inspire with it. I think that's the right word for it.
Very good. I love walking through the process.
Got
I
it.
was going to say turn the page, but I think the better term is layer on. Let's
Okay.
layer on now these entrepreneurial pursuits in this
Okay.
fashion trend called Ascendi.
Yeah.
What sparked the idea to really bring this fashion? Well, and I see that there's affirmation to it,
Yeah.
there's empowerment to it. Give us a little background on that.
So that was a perfect segue because Ascendi is all about rising. So I got the name from ascend to rise. And I was just thinking about how can because I train in the gym a lot. And in the gym, I use affirmations. So I'll listen to my music, whether it's like trap or heavy metal, whatever, but I still say my affirmations while I do it. And I was like, okay, how can I incorporate this and inspire people to really become their best selves and be who they were created to be and go to the gym or go to work or whatever and feel that message? And I was like, you know, what if the clothes had affirmations on them? And so that's how that started for me, because sometimes I have to remind myself, like, hey, sometimes I don't feel very powerful or sometimes I don't feel so I have to write my affirmations down. So I was like, what if it's on the clothes and people can wear it? And I didn't want it to just slap it on a shirt. I wanted to create it. So if you see the Elements collection in the sports bras, they have water, fire, ether, air, because they're all the different elements. And then the affirmations with those elements. So it's an alchemist.
Yeah.
And that's how I wanted to create it. then I will be doing a men's line because they've been asking me and they're like, when does the men's line drop? And I'm like, okay, I want to make sure the men also get something nice. But I know it's more simple. They don't like all this design stuff. So I'm trying to keep it simple and nice and sleek, but still have a message for them as well. And also I'm having a playlist that I'm creating with affirmation songs that people can then train to. They can just download it or follow on YouTube. So I want to build a community. It's not just, oh, let's sell some shirts. No, I want to create a community of visionaries, dreamers, entrepreneurs, people that really are going after things they want in their life and need some inspiration. So,
Oh, fantastic. Well, before we get too far, where do we find this brand and connect with it?
so you can go to www.ascendi, ASCENDI.shop, and it'll have everything there.
Perfect. Check it out. I love
Thank
you
you.
talking about breath work, and I see in your background that you have a framed word inhale. And
You are
it's
so observant.
well, uh, only in our last episode, I've talked to author Lisa Tenner, and she has a whole book about breath work and creativity. And you're
Wow.
describing these same 5 breathing techniques that she did. And
Really?
I wanted to revisit this because this workout ethic that you have, where does breath inform or inspire what you're doing creatively? How does that affect your brain and body?
That's so important. And I never realized how important breath was. Especially as a singer too, you would think was the
You
most
would
important
think.
thing.
They probably
Breath.
taught that at Berkeley.
I took enough classes to know about the diaphragm and everything, but really connecting the breath into I also meditate and I'm a wellness girly. I like all the things. I like to take care of myself so that I can function at my best. And in meditation, connecting my breath and breath work and also working out, doing different yoga poses with breath. It's amazing. I feel like it's like the breath of life. It sparks everything. So creativity is definitely connected to that because I think when you are inspired and you are in that air feeling of creativity, you just create and it's free and it's flowing versus just struggle. That's a very dense energy. I think to create, of course, you can create out of the density and transmute it. Like I've transmuted a lot. That's really what started my creative journey, just transmuting my trauma. But now that I'm getting more seasoned, I really enjoy creating a sacred space. And like you said, doing the breath work, doing everything I need to do to be in a flow and just creating from that space. Yeah, I'm definitely learning.
Oh, the wellness side and your advocacy for our cultural, our mental health, our all the things that we need to promote for each other. It's not just popular, it's current that we talk about how our creativity in our current world is often informed by our past, whether it's childhood or other trauma. And you mentioned being bullied or I was being
Right,
used in business or all the
right,
things.
right.
Where do you learn from and let those past traumas inform your creativity? I guess in contrast to letting it hinder you or holding you back or saying, I'm not worthy to do this. How do you
Mhm.
push through?
Okay, I think as artists, we are constantly told, no, you're not good enough. No, this constant thing about you have to reach this type of perfection in order to be worthy of being an artist. And especially if you are training, and I'm not saying don't train. I love my training. It's great. But I've also had very like negative experiences where my coaches, not at Berkeley, they were fantastic. Others where my coaches were very not physically abusive, but mentally abusive. And I had to unlearn that negative self-talk in my mind because I was like, this is really toxic. Like, why did they talk to me like this? Why am I talking to myself like that? So a lot of that I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough rhetoric and just perfectionism rhetoric was really heavily ingrained in my brain. And I honestly, it's because of my I want to say my family, my friends that have really helped me through that. And then also reprogramming my mind. And meditation has helped me with that. And my faith in the sense of, okay, this is not how I want to create. I don't want to create from a place of, what should I say, frustration or trying to prove myself to XYZ. No, I'm creating for the people. I'm creating for other people to inspire them. So I really had to relearn a lot of things because in acting and music, both of those industries, as you know, are so like can be very toxic to the artist, especially. And that's why Nadine Royale Studios is important to me because I want to make sure that any artist that works with me is protected and we take care of them in the sense of there will be no cussing on set in the sense of cussing people out or being disrespectful or whatever other things that happen on sets. No, on my set, you're going to be welcomed. I don't care if you're an extra. I don't care if you're the lead. It doesn't matter. Like you're going to be respected and your creativity can be free to flow. So I think it's the new industry that's coming up. So we've been in the back end, I feel. They haven't heard of us yet, but we've been working. And I think now is the time that the new industry is rising up because people are understanding the importance of mental health. Because you see what has happened to a lot of the artists that have either passed away or whatever, have a substance abuse problems or whatever is going on. You can see what has happened because of the treatment. It's so important to me to
Wow,
take
that's
care and
fantastic. Thanks for bringing that forward.
Sorry, that was long.
No, hey, it has to be long. It's gonna
Yeah.
it takes a while. Let's talk about your upcoming projects. I was reading about The Alchemist, and you just referred to it. I was
Mhm.
reading about, is it Love and Lithium, a TV series? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Tell us about what else you're cooking up.
So The Alchemist that's the working title. I think I'll keep it. We'll see. It's of the new album that I'm working on. I have a single already done and it's probably coming out 2025. We have to do a video for that one. It's a manifestation song. So it has affirmations in it. Obviously, that's my thing right now. Love and Lithium, we shot the pilot for it. Just waiting for a couple of things on the back end as far as green lighting, but it's a mental health series actually. And it's a dramedy, but it explores a lot of themes that we talked about. That show, I love that show. Can't wait for that to have its moment, but I know everything has a time. So I have to be patient. A travel show, I was just in Europe working on that. That's probably 2025. We'll see when this all comes out. But I'm just creating and I want to connect and find my tribe, so to speak.
Mhm.
So I'm just creating. I'm doing amazing podcasts like I'm on yours right now. I'm really enjoying myself. So I think that's what it's about, being an artist, entrepreneur, and just connecting with people. And yeah, I think those are the projects. And Waiting on Santa is older, but it's going to come out because it's Christmas season. So we'll
Yes.
resurge it probably.
Yes, I'll be doing a Christmas playlist, which I do every year, so I'll include that in a special
Yeah.
episode so folks can
Thank
look
you.
forward to that.
Awesome.
Nadine Royale has been my guest. What a fantastic conversation. And how do we connect with you and find out about all this great work we've been hearing about?
You can go on www.nadineroyale.com, NADINEROYALE.com. And all my socials are there. Same name, Nadine Royale. So
Yes. Awesome. Listeners, we've been talking about, boy, a flow of creativity. We've been exploring art and its sources and inspiration. We've been talking about the entrepreneurial spirit and advocacy. What a terrific range of creative inspiration, Nadine. I really
thank you.
appreciate you sharing all your stories with us.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, can't wait to see all the work and folks. I'll be sharing, as she mentioned, all the links to her socials in the show notes so you can find those easily. We're going to continue these around the world travels. We've stopped off in Austin today with Nadine, and we've talked about her Egyptian and German roots. So I feel like I've touched some other countries as well during our conversation. And we really appreciate the sponsor of our podcast, White Cloud Coffee. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your order when you use the promo code CREATIVITY when you order your coffee. Great time of year for coffee for yourself or your family, for gifts. So go to whitecloudcoffee.com. Use the discount code CREATIVITY. We'll come back again next time as we continue to explore how we get inspired, how we organize ideas, and most of all, how we can all gain the confidence and the connections to launch our work out into the world. Until next time, I'm Mark Stinson, and we'll keep unlocking your world of creativity. We'll see you next time.